Hello, my name is Nada Khalil, and I'm the research coordinator at the Bipolar Research Lab, directed by Dr. Serge Boyer at the Douglas Mental Health Institute. Our lab is interested in researching the biological factors of bipolar disorder and the environmental factors that can influence this disorder. Our approach is very multidisciplinary. We try to understand bipolar disorder from an epidemiological, biological, chemical, psychological, social, and even genetic points of view. And we carry out several studies ranging from clinical drug trials, therapeutic interventions, or passive observational studies. And we use many kinds of tools and technologies to aid in our work, such as MRIs, ECGs, ERGs, EEGs, actigraphy devices, and most recently, we've incorporated the Hexoskin device into our studies. And so for our current project that we're using the Hexoskin device for, it's called Treat BD. And it's a year-long longitudinal study where we regularly follow up with stable patients who have either bipolar type 1 or type 2 across 3 different sites in Canada. And our goal with these shirts is to measure sleep architecture to classify different subtypes of bipolar disorder based on their sleep quality. And specifically, we're measuring REM latency, which is how long it takes for the participant to reach REM sleep, and the total percentage of REM sleep that they achieve. And we're also interested in seeing how sleep quality is correlated with activity levels throughout the day, such as heart rate variability or the energy metabolized, and as well as their mental and emotional well being and functioning overall. And so our procedure involves giving the participants Hexoskin devices to wear for 3 periods of 24 hours within the span of 2 weeks. And we also use an actigraphy device to complement our data. And this procedure is repeated 3 times throughout the year, with 6 months separating each wear. So one of the major difficulties when it comes to doing these kinds of studies, when you have multiple participants across many different sites, is finding a way to organize all of this data. And the Hexoskin dashboard does an incredible job of doing that. So the fact that we can assign a device to a participant before we can even hand it to them is incredibly useful, because when we receive it, I can quickly connect it to my computer. It automatically uploads it to the participant profile, and I can see the date, time, and end of the recordings, and it's just all there under like the correct site and the correct participant. So it does a very good job of organizing that for us. Oftentimes we have to, with other devices, we'll have to label stuff ourselves, find like the right drive to put it in and all of that. So this already saves us a bunch of time just by doing that. Secondly, one of our favorite features is the REM versus non-REM sleep, because that is exactly what we're interested in. Like I mentioned earlier, we're interested in REM latency and quality or quantity of REM sleep, and we can kind of automatically see it just by opening a recording, and that's really useful for us. Another great feature is having the participants flag when they went to bed, when they woke up, just by pressing on the device. And this is helpful for us because we can very easily see on our computers when the participant woke up and went to bed. And this saves us time because, like I mentioned, we'd have participants write on a log on a piece of paper when they woke up and went to sleep. But now we don't have to reference that piece of paper anymore. We can just look at the dashboard and it's all there for us. And another thing is that we have participants tell us when they did an exercise or had a stressful argument or something that might increase their heart rates or just have them feel more stressed, because that can obviously influence our sleep quality. And so we can very easily go in and make a note of whether the participant was exercising or doing something that might influence their heart rate or just general biological functioning. And this is great because sometimes those can be confounding variables that influence our data. And so this allows us to control for those third variables. One of the coolest discoveries that we've kind of made is just by looking at the preliminary data on the dashboard, we've noticed that with some participants, when they've exhibited manic symptoms, we've seen that in their sleep positions change more often throughout the night. So from switching to their left or side to the right or their back, and that their sleep cycles are much shorter in duration, and they cycle between being awake and being asleep much faster, which is quite consistent with the literature. And so that was an interesting pattern that we found. Our experience with the Hexoskin dashboard has been that it's been a very efficient tool in helping us organize and visualize their data for multiple participants across multiple sites that involves hundreds of different recordings, which has saved us a lot of time and has ultimately led us to already make some pretty interesting findings, and will ultimately lead us into making new discoveries.